kind of a country do we live in? I go every day of my life trying to be a good Christian husband, trying to work hard for my family. I mostly keep to myself. I have strong political opinions, don't get me wrong. I believe pretty much everything that Charlie Kirk believes. I lockstep. I'm not as open about it as I used to be. I think the relationships suffering through just trying to have an opinion is probably the reason that I stopped being so vocal and talking about how I felt about things, and listening to the media shame me and tell me that I'm evil for wanting to follow a biblical life and do what God tells me to do. I was weak, and I let it change me, and I let it make me into a meek person. I still watch people like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and Shapiro, a lot of these other really great conservative voices. But I lost my voice. I didn't lose my voice. I let it get taken from me. And after watching the news and the reports and the overall events of what happened today with Charlie Kirk, I'm ashamed of me, if I'm honest. Charlie is an inspiration to all of us. And I don't say was, he is. We're very graciously afforded the internet. Charlie's words will live on forever. I know I'm going to go home and download all of his podcasts so that I have a permanent record of them. Charlie changed the face of this country. He inspired young people to actually use their brains and not just regurgitate the things that a mass media giant puts together to put down on top of all of us. Record voter turnout and voter registrations. What he did with Turning Point was incredible. You know, we may not have the president that we have today if it's not for Charlie Kirk doing what he did when he did it. And today America lost. America lost a great patriot, a great thinker. If Charlie Kirk may not have had a philosophy degree, or maybe he did. I don't know enough to be able to say what he had and what he didn't. I know that he wasn't the classically college educated Yale and Harvard guy that a lot of people would point to and listen to for a thought provoker and a thought leader. But Charlie got information from humans. He had civil discourse and conversations. You could disagree with Charlie, whether you're his friend or some random person, and he wouldn't belittle you. He would speak to you with facts and reason. A lot of times Charlie would learn from the people that he was working alongside, and he would grow and change some of his own mentality. But today America lost. It lost a champion of the right, but it's not really about a political divide. It's about today America lost the ability to say, we stand for freedom of speech. Today America lost the ability to say, all voices are welcome. Today America found out if you have the right opinion that the media conglomerate thinks that you should have, and that the universities think that you should have, and the people who are told are great thinkers think that you should have, well, then you can have a voice and a platform. You'll be boosted, you'll be celebrated, you'll be applauded. But if you disagree with that message, if you want to think for yourself and have a different idea, America has no time for that. I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed of the country that I live in, and that this would be tolerated the way it is. When's it going to stop? Multiple attempts put on the president's life. One very close to being successful. Grazed by a bullet. And now a married father of two with, I can certainly guarantee you, a cleaner rap sheet than myself. Not that I have a bad one, but I have some skeletons in my closet. I have some things that I've done that I'm not proud of. There's no reason for that senseless violence. If you find yourself reaching for a gun to shoot somebody because of the words of their mouth, why don't you pick up a book and equip your brain for better ideas to debate and think instead? This is a dangerous game that is being played in our country right now. We have extremists on both sides itching for a reason to cause havoc and to hurt, maim, and kill others. We have a media that doesn't care about either side. They just care about clicks and money. And they are pitting us against each other for things that we hold dear, our existential reasoning. And they're sitting back and watching us hurt each other, kill each other, fight each other, all for their own financial gain. You know, come tomorrow morning, I'm sure that the liberal side is going to come out and, oh, we abhor violence, and this is awful, and this should have never happened. Where were you yesterday? The day before? 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years? While you're telling conservatives that because we have an opinion, we're putting people's lives at risk. Telling people they're going to die if Donald Trump gets elected. Yeah, there's a crazy person, likely, maybe they're not crazy, but there's an evil person that was behind a gun that shot, killed, and murdered Charlie Kirk today. But the blame for what happened is not just on that person. I put the blame on the media just as much. A trained military commander can absolutely make a soldier, teach him how to shoot, and make a dangerous weapon. But cult leaders, media figures, and the like can do the same thing. Now, I already know what the response is going to be. Well, Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that. This isn't about Trump. Stop hiding behind Trump and your hatred of him. Start figuring out what your cause in this is. Figure out how to fix you. There may be even something that you can say about behavior that Trump has and how it maybe isn't ideal. Perhaps. But there's no reason that you can't start with yourself today. There's no reason that you have to put blame on other people. Start thinking about the words that you have. It is okay to disagree. It is okay to say that's not an opinion I share. That's a good thing. Civil court discourse and debate is what leads to the best ideas. It's what leads to growth. It's what leads to partnerships. It's what leads to compromise. But to disagree and find a reason that someone's life should be cut short because their ideas are different than you is evil. The Bible talks about in Revelation what the end of the world's going to look like one day. And I grew up my whole life listening to the old timers around me tell me, oh, you know, this is it. We're reading about it in the book. And I remember thinking, they don't know what time it is. It says in the Bible that no man shall know. That's true. But as I get older and I see more of the way the world works, I find myself feeling the same way. We're calling good evil and evil good. You're seeing so much change. And not because it's organic, but because forced. I'll say some unpopular things in here and judge me, leave the post, leave the podcast. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. Years ago, I watched California legalize gay marriage. Right after they actually took a vote on it, the people didn't want it. People voted it down. I think that was the start of the America that we live in today, which is the elite at the top telling us that they know better than us. I watch girls sitting out of sports today to avoid getting hit in the face by a man pretending to be a woman on a team. I watch girls get scholarships passed up, records absolutely shattered, not broken, but shattered by a clearly unfair competitor. And then I watch politicians and school leaders and the like tell the girls that protest, that don't want to have this happen, that they're the problem. Okay. You guys are breeding monsters. You guys are creating radicalized individuals. You know better than Hamas or the Taliban or any of these other organizations that selfishly want to create murderers for your own gain. CNN, I'm looking at you with your panel of people calling Republicans evil, saying that our ideas are dangerous and represent an existential threat to those around us. The ladies at The View with a really unpopular opinion that no one likes, yet you still somehow have a show every single day. I'm blaming you. Your rhetoric, your words have created this. Your hatred for people that disagree with you have created this. Charlie Kirk was a passionate man that cared about what he believed in. He cared about his family and he cared about his God. My God, our God, the one true God. But he wasn't an evil man. He wasn't a violent man. He was open to having everyone have a voice, even if he vehemently disagreed with it. He believed in your right to have it. I'm disgusted. I watched when Donald Trump got elected, I watched people say, oh, I'm going to move out of America. I can't live in this America. And I laughed and I was like, who would ever move out of America? That's crazy talk. People move into America, not out of it. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying I want to move out of America. But for the first time in my life, I'm embarrassed about the country that I live in. For the first time in my life, I feel like America is no longer the greatest country in the world. I don't know who is, please don't ask. And I know, oh, if you can't put somebody above America, then who is it? I don't know, but we don't deserve it right now. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, the world had to wake up and say, what are we doing? A lot of people didn't, though. You still had a lot of really awful racists on the right celebrated his death and were happy about it. I feel like this is going to be the same for a lot of people on the left that are going to celebrate the passing of this young man. 31 years old. 2 kids and a loving wife. murdered over words. CNN, MSNBC, C-SPAN, ladies at The View, liberal talking point pundits. I hope you do all realize you have blood on your hands. You didn't pull a trigger, you didn't touch a gun. I'll agree to that. But you weaponized whatever individual did this, just like the ones that took shots at Trump. Just like the ones that are assaulting and beating and going crazy on people on the right. Why does Antifa exist? Because of you. Why are there violent thugs trying to take down America by force? Because of you. I am calling for an end of all violence, political or otherwise. That is not the answer. That is not the way. But I do hope that all of you realize what you've done in weaponizing this. This is not going to be a one and done. This is not going to be a, okay, we got this guy to go crazy and he killed Charlie Kirk, so now we can all just sit back and America will go back to what we want as normal. No. I promise you, you're going to create even more violence. Now there's going to be crazies from the right side of the aisle that are going to feel like they have to take matters into their own hands. And you are going to start so much violence, it wouldn't surprise me if we ended up in a damn civil war. Now I know you're probably thinking that's crazy. There's no way. I wouldn't have thought so. But I also wouldn't have thought that an extremely non-violent married father of 2 children who likes to interview people behind a microphone would get assassinated for it. I also didn't think that in my lifetime we would see someone actually legitimately try to kill the president. That happened twice. It is not Trump's words that are creating these people. It is not Charlie Kirk's words that are creating these people. It's the media who knows that for some strange reason people still trust them. That one you've got it on me, because I don't know why anybody would trust you. You've been caught lying about everything under the sun. COVID taught us a lot of that. Go back and look through your history. Look at what people would say about COVID. Look at all the people that got canceled because they didn't want to take vaccines or said that they could potentially be dangerous and maybe we should wait, slow down, and take a look. Look at all the people that said, look, putting kids into masks and shutting down schools is dangerous because kids are basically immune, have a very low death rate. Literally more kids died of the flu, if I'm not mistaken, than COVID. And we don't shut down schools for all year and 2 years and 3 years because of the flu. So, you know, the misinformation they spread, why you would believe them, I don't know. I don't know. But for some reason people do. And you have a platform. You're given tax breaks and benefits to be a trusted source of news objectively, and a platform rather than a publisher. Or maybe I'm getting that mixed up. I'm not a podcaster. I don't know. This is just one guy randomly giving his opinions. But you're afforded all these benefits to generate income and minimize the taxes that you have to put in place. And all that you're asked of in return is equality of time for presidential candidates, accuracy of reporting, and factual information. You've all turned into evil, opinionated journalists. Even, you know, people that started off good that I liked, that seemed like they really had it together. The media machine eats them up, chews them up, and then there you go. David Muir. I think you're a good guy, David Muir. I don't have any personal beef against you. But I've watched, as you've worked for ABC over the years, I've watched you do the same things. I've watched you just become a parrot to unbelievable talking points. I've seen people interview the president and absolutely deride and chide him while giving Kamala Harris a great platform, letting her edit her interviews 50 million times so she doesn't look like the drunk, bumbling idiot that we all see, yet trying in every way possible to paint Trump in the worst light. I'm ashamed for you, but you should be ashamed of yourselves too. There's a lot of blood on a lot of hands right now. I really hope that this is a wake-up call to all of you. I know you're just doing what the bosses tell you to do, and you're just towing the line. Yeah, okay. What you're doing by towing the line, though, is you're causing pain, death, and destruction. And you've done so much damage now, I don't know if you can actually cork that bottle back up and get it to settle back down. I don't think you can. I unfortunately think that you have now escalated us into a path that likely ends in some version of a civil war. What that looks like, I don't know. I don't want it. I hope that it doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm scared of the America that I'm going to wake up to tomorrow. What should happen from this is everybody should take a step back, take a breath, say, what is my role in creating political violence? What is my role in shutting down civil discourse and open communication? Figure out how to fix it and move forward. You know, and maybe that means you stop being quite so hateful on social media. Maybe that means you reach out to somebody on the other side, offer an apology for some things you've said, and try to come to a better understanding. Maybe that means you walk into your co-hosts at The View and you say, I quit. You guys are evil and I'm not going to be a part of it anymore, and I'm done. Maybe that means you change channel, and instead of watching non-stop opinionated journalism and news, maybe you open up a web browser and do some research, go to some .gov and .org websites. Maybe you look at some statistics on things and use your own brain for a change. What I can tell you, the America that I will go to bed with tonight versus the America that I will wake up to tomorrow, I fear are going to be very different. I fear that this is merely the start of a really tragic series of events to come afterwards. And it's all so avoidable. It's not an organic problem that's happening. The people at the top that are doing this, that are splitting us like this, that are creating this kind of animosity, they know exactly what they're doing. You can go down a billion different conspiracy theory holes of the Rothschilds and the thises and the that's and the QAnons and the blood of the adrenaline and adrenochrome. I don't care and know about any of that. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. What I do know, though, is the more that you rage watch CNN, the more you give in to what they're telling you, the more you're feeding into it too. It's not just the people on the networks that have blood on their hands. It's the people that are helping giving them a voice. There's a reason that conservative voices are taking over. There's a reason that liberal comedians are getting their shows shut down. That hired and getting replaced. It's starting to change. But the people at the top are clearly not wanting to let go. They're doubling down. They need us to fight each other. They need us to hate each other. And right now they're winning. that they find the man that did this. And if he is in any way connected to anyone that helped him pull this off, I hope they find them too. An unpopular opinion, I hope they do a town hall public hanging with every single one of them. For those of you that watch this and agreed with my opinions and would like to give me some positive encouragement, I've never done anything like this before. It'd be helpful. For those of you that disagree and have an opinion on that, good luck with that. I'm not turning comments off. You're welcome to respond and say whatever it is that you'd like to say. I don't really care. I probably won't engage with you. But I just felt it was appropriate on the day of the death of my influential voice America had to honor him by telling you and the rest of America that I was thankful for Charlie Kirk. That Charlie Kirk meant something to me. He was a good man. He helped me to form some opinions, but mostly be able to speak to the opinions that I have, to come from a place of love in my arguments and my debates, and not just anger and rage. Charlie, you will be missed. You're a very, very good man. The only thing that has me giving any kind of hope in this situation is that I know that you knew the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior. I know that you're in heaven now with Him. You got your reward. And I'm so sorry that it took what it did to get you your reward. But you deserve to be happy in heaven forever with Jesus. I'm so sorry for the violence that happened to you. I pray for your family. I pray for your wife. I pray for your two little daughters. Well, 2 kids. I don't think they're daughters. The 2 kids. Pray for them. I pray for all the people right now that are hurting and trying to make sense of this senseless violence. I hope that we can all take a moment, think about how our words affect people. Think about the America that you want to live in. There's examples all over this world of what the countries that look like what the left want to do in America. They're all over this world. And every one of those countries has one thing in common. The majority of their people would rather live in America. Think about what more you're willing to tolerate from these people as they continue to take your freedoms, take your rights, to tell you that you're an evil person for following Jesus, to tell you that you're an evil person for not wanting your daughter to play lacrosse against a boy or volleyball against a boy, to tell you that, oh, you had your daughter sit out of this game to avoid getting a concussion, which has happened several times, that you're somehow a bigot. That's the America that you want? Buckle up. Because the rest of us don't. And I think we're done being quiet about the way we feel about stuff. I think we're done being told you don't get to have an opinion. I really don't care anymore. I don't care about getting canceled. I don't care about being offensive. See, being offended is a choice. You can be purposely offensive, but the other person still gets to choose to be offended. I choose to not be offended. You can come at me with whatever you want, say whatever you want. I think I'll do the same. I hope you have a good day.